All right, let's get an update of what's going on in the market. Bitcoin, we'll start here, down a little. I think canceling SegWit 2x is good. I was thinking, I was picturing on Coinbase, you having Bitcoin, Bitcoin 2x, Bitcoin Cash, really spreading out the Bitcoin name. I thought was not good for the coin in the long run. I think canceling SegWit 2x is good, but of course the price is down because, in the bizarro world, sometimes I feel like this is. People wanted the free 2x and now they're not getting it. I assume that's why it's down. Anyways, I think this is good for Bitcoin in the long run. I'm not that enthusiastic about Bitcoin in general, but I thought that was good. Now, Bitcoin Cash, to me it's bizarre. Where is this chart here? So Bitcoin Cash, here's block time, which is basically the speed of transactions. Okay, Bitcoin, always held the title as the slowest coin out there with its 10-minute block time. But you have Bitcoin Cash, which I believe holds the proud distinction of the slowest coin of all. It's even slower than Bitcoin. It's around similar to Bitcoin, but more volatile. So I don't get it, and not only, so the block time is small, and I think it's also funny that the block size, they barely go over 200K. They're often down here at like 36K block size. The whole point of the fork was so that they could have 8 megabit block size. And the bigger block size is not helping speed at all. So the whole thing to me is silly. The transactions, they do fewer than, let's go over here, much less than 10% of the volume that Bitcoin does. It's on fewer exchanges, yet it's over 10%. It's like 15% of the price today. So I think Bitcoin Cash, I've been wrong on the price. I don't get it. I don't understand why people like Bitcoin Cash. I don't get it at all. Now, I was stupid in that I left my coins on Coinbase at the time. I didn't get my Bitcoin Cash. Long story of why I didn't do that. Feel free to put all your comments about how stupid I am, blah, blah, blah. However, now, I'll tell you what, because I'm happy. Hopefully, Coinbase adds it soon, because look at this. I didn't like Bitcoin Cash in the beginning, I would have sold it right at launch, maybe around 500. But Coinbase didn't let me. And now, hopefully they come out with it now at an all-time high. Oh boy, I will sell my Bitcoin Cash so fast it'll make my head spin. I'll put that right into my stellar networks, which we will talk about soon. Ethereum, it's just been steady at 300 for the longest time. To me, 330 to 270 is 300. That's sort of been the range. It's solid. I've seen many of my videos. So many reasons to like Ethereum. DevCon looks great. It's a good hold. I don't know when it's going to move, but I love my Ethereum. Now, Litecoin, when I did this analysis, I did this video here on this analysis here regarding transactions, and I discovered that, Litecoin, they have 23,000 transactions, which is bigger than, other than Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's bigger than all the other little guys, which is cool. Its growth rate was a little bit bigger, transactions growth rate last year. It's on a fair number of trading pairs. So Litecoin is not horrible. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. It's kind of boring to me. It's not a bad coin. It's sort of in the middle of the pack. They're not bad, but to me, I don't play with this because it's just kind of boring. I'm looking for winners, rock stars. Litecoin, it's light. It's light in the excitement. Now, IOTA, I've done my video about. I think the tangle is going to get tangled. I don't believe in the IOTA story. Also at 1.5 billion market cap, I just think that's too much for this. It shot way back up. It's down today. This thing came back from the dead. Where was it? So it was, it was at 35. And look at this, shot all the way back up to where I sold it. And then we're coming back. I'm not a believer. Good luck to all of you who are. Zcash. Now, Zcash, the people from Zcash have worked directly with Ethereum. The technology from Zcash has been integrated into the Ethereum blockchain as ZK snarks at the recent upgrade. People seem very excited about it. So if you like the Zcash technology, buy Ethereum. Ethereum has basically absorbed Zcash, working directly with the geniuses behind Zcash. If you like Zcash, it's now Ethereum. So, like I like to say, all roads lead to Ethereum. Here's yet another road leading to Ethereum. Now, speaking of Ethereum and then Ethereum Classic, so we had this parity wallet issue. So some kid changed some code and locked up, I think it's $150 million worth of Ethereum. Now, my guess is at the next Ethereum hard fork, they will do whatever they need to do to release those funds so that people get their money back. Why would you not do that? Well, if you have some reason of why you shouldn't release those funds and you have a principle of just letting stupid things happen, then you can go to an Ethereum Classic where they do not fix, thefts or, screw-ups like this. Ethereum Classic, as I've said, but the thing about Ethereum Classic I did, again, with the transactions. So Ethereum Classic here, doing 40,000 transactions a day. But I looked at the charts on this thing here that Ethereum, once they once Ethereum broke through 100,000 transactions a day is when they started getting slower. So that means Ethereum Classic only doing 40,000 transactions a day. If they break through 100,000 transactions a day, the network starts getting slower. They're going to need to hard fork. They don't have the development team that Ethereum does. Ethereum Classic is another, I don't get it. I don't, there's rumors that it's, everybody in South Korea for some reason loves Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum Classic. I don't know if that's the reason these things go up. I don't get it. I would not buy Ethereum Classic if my life depended. Well, if my life depended on it, I would get it. But I do not like it as an investment. But nevertheless, it is rocketing up. Now, Monero, privacy coin, again, Zcash seems to be better. And now that's part of Ethereum. Monero, sort of the smaller option when I did this report here, showing that Monero only has 4,500 transactions a day. It's really one of the smaller coins. Its growth rate was a little bit less, I guess, similar to Zcash. But it's sort of like, I don't know. If you were going to bet on one, I'd probably prefer Zcash. And now, like I said, Zcash is with Ethereum. So Monero to me looks boring. I wouldn't buy it. OMG go. Originally loved the story. I like, smart dudes with the development on Plasma in early on this thing. And the original story is working with McDonald's. And I'm picturing, people in McDonald's buying their hamburger with Ethereum. Well, I don't know when there are going to be any transactions happening with McDonald's. I believe that OMG is working with McDonald's. I just don't know when anything's going to launch. Now, they did issue this roadmap recently, and I mean, just listen to this. The path that leads to Plasma is marked by milestones we have named after relevant terms from the board game Go. They lost me at Go. I mean, what the hell are they? What? From the terms from the board game Go. Fuseki and Sente. The white label wallet, SDK. What does this mean for consumers? When is somebody on McDonald's going to buy with cryptocurrency, and how's that going to happen? Like, can you translate this into English, please? And listen, they don't have to. They're super tech savvy. They seem smart. The problem is, there's the good and the bad. The good is, it seems like they're really on top of stuff, super advanced technology leaders. The bad news is I can't understand a word of it, so I don't want to invest too much because I can't follow it. I mean, I understand certain things. I kind of understand plasma. That looks great, and they're one of the early developers of it, and they're building on it, so I assume that's good. But this one's tough for me to grasp. If somebody can sort of break this down and explain it, I would love to see that, to hear about it. I don't know. Let me know. So OMG, I think because of this, they started out with that McDonald's press release. Everybody could understand that and loved it, and that's why the OMG went way up. Ever since we realized, A, nothing's happening with McDonald's that we can see now, and B, no one can understand a word anybody says at OMG, so this price is languishing. I expect it to languish more until we start seeing real things that us lay people can understand. Digital cash. So, I'm a DigiCash fan. I am an owner. The price shot up nicely. It's also been around 300, like Bitcoin, but a little more volatile. And right now, also at a bigger high, 331. I'm a little concerned with Bitcoin Cash, digital cash. So my original love for them was quite simply this. Okay, they released software in February. They were ahead of schedule, and then transactions jumped from 1 to 6,000. That's a 6x jump. That's great, And then they're supposed to come out with another software release. I don't know. Is this going to happen again? Because when you look at their transactions, 6,000 transactions a day. Okay, Bitcoin is at whatever, 400,000. Now, Bitcoin's not really growing fast. So if they 10x, if Dash 10x increases their transactions at 60,000, they 10x again, they're 600,000, and Bitcoin doesn't move, it's bigger than Bitcoin. Now we're excited. But that means 10xing twice. And this upgrade in February only gave them 6x. So when is Bitcoin going to be, when is Dash going to be of scale? I'm not sure. I see that happening anytime soon. Before I get too negative on them, they just released a video. They had an hour-and-a-half conference call, Dash Core Team Summary. They just did this. I am going to watch this video, hour-and-a-half video of Dash. I like Dash. I may have bought a little too much. Right now, I'm happy I did because it was, I don't know, like 260, and now it's at 330. I may sell some because I want to start. I got to put more money into Stellar. We'll get to that in a minute, but boy, oh boy, Stellar is looking stellar. So, and I don't want to have too much tied up in Dash because this thing might not go anywhere. I don't get it. It's weird. Some of the ones I don't get seem to be going up. The ones that I love. Actually, everything's going up. Ethereum has been the one that's flat, and I like that one. So, whatever. But it's probably because it's big. Anyways, Ripple, to me, I was like, okay, Ripple and Stellar have an interesting strategy, different strategies, but I think Jed McCaleb and Stellar did right into the gut of Ripple. I mean, they've got to be shaking in their boots. I don't know how they can compete with Stellar on this Ripple, on this IBM deal. We'll get to that in a minute. So I was trading Ripple. I don't think I'm going to buy it anymore. I think they're in trouble. Now, listen, they're going to have business. They're in a great new market. As someone from Stellar said, their competition, someone asked about Stellar versus Ripple, asked the IBM guys. They're like, listen, our competition is swift. There's room for a lot of players. I'm sure Ripple will get some business, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see them blowing up like Stellar. So, I don't think I'm going to trade Ripple anymore. Maybe I got to change that video. Neo, I've had my videos. I'm not a fan. I don't believe in the Neo platform. I don't think anything significant is going to launch on it. It's similar to IOTA. These things may find a niche, but I don't see them competing against Ethereum at all. As far as, and they're not decentralized platforms yet. I understand that someday they're going to be. They're sort of a permissioned blockchain, or there's more than 50% control by the owners at this point. But maybe some people don't care, and that creates some advantage, and they have a little niche, but I don't think they can be as big as Ethereum, nor will they, either Neo or IOTA. So I'm not buying it. And NEO has so much trouble always getting over 30. They did it again. It was just over 30 yesterday. I don't think, I just keep thinking it's not going to go over 30 every time it goes below, and then it says F you to me and goes over 30 for a minute. Not a fan of NEO. Bitcoin Gold, another small, stupid coin to me. Like, if you want to start a coin, why fork Bitcoin? Bitcoin's like the worst technology. They want to move. I think Bitcoin Gold wants to move to proof of stake, which you have to do. That was another thing out of the Ethereum DevCon. Actually, an interview I saw on Crypto the video guy. He's got a show. He interviewed Vlad Zamfir, who talked about the move to Casper, proof of stake on Ethereum. It's happening. And he really talked about how once that happens, people are going to look at Bitcoin and realize that it also has to move to a form of proof of stake eventually. And so Bitcoin Gold understands that, but it's so small, and it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to, if you want to bet on a small consumer coin play, you've got your Dash. I don't see who could beat them. And they're small too. Bitcoin Gold, though, is even smaller. EOS, boy, came back from the dead. It was at under 50 cents. Jumped to over $1. Big rise because they have $700 million, I believe, in order to build their Ethereum killer. Listen, I like Brock Pierce. He's a fun guy, seems cool. I'd like him to win. Dave Larimer, who's doing the project, seems like a smart guy, but how can you compete against the Ethereum team? And they haven't even launched yet. Here's the thing. EOS may be awesome, and maybe I'll buy it after it launches and we see what it is, and it's groundbreaking. Okay, maybe. But at this point, you're buying a token for a platform that hasn't launched, and your token will get converted into something that you don't know what it's going to get converted into for the platform that hasn't launched. So if you're investing in EOS now, what are you buying? You don't know. Even if EOS turns out to be awesome, what is the token? Is the token going to be awesome that you're buying now that gets converted into another token? I don't know. That is way too many variables for me. I would not buy this. When it was at 50 cents, I made a video where I talked about, it looks like the price, looking at the chart, it looks like a good time to buy. But still, I didn't buy it because I'm like, what is this? I don't know what it is. Metaverse, I looked at another Ethereum wannabe. Like I said, I'm not a believer. If anybody is going to gain on Ethereum, and let me remind you here, last year at least, Ethereum transactions growth rate of 1,000%. If they grow by 1,000% again, so not only is Ethereum far in the lead, they're growing faster than everybody. Granted, this doesn't show. I don't know how many transactions a day these other IOTA and NEO are doing. They don't really reveal it, certainly in any simple way. And probably because the number is so small, they're going to have to grow real. Like if they grow 1,000% a year for a couple of years, they'll still be far behind Ethereum. And scale matters. Size matters with these platforms. Length of time in business and trust matters. So I don't see Metaverse in any universe competing with Ethereum. At this point, keeping my eyes open. I know all of you, I'm missing the boat, blah, blah, blah. Listen, it's not missing a boat. There's not a dock, and once the boat leaves, you can't get on. It's missing. It's like whatever. I don't know an analogy, but you can always get on the boat at any time. Why get on now? Sort of like 10X. I didn't like it so many months ago. Went down in price a lot. They did a few things. So then I got on the boat at a cheaper price, sometimes waiting. Maybe I'll love Metaverse in 2 years, and I'll get it at half the price. Missing a boat is a bad analogy, if I'm wrong. Okay, Event Coin recently popped up in the top 20 here. And let's see if that works next time I do it. Okay, we got crypto compare problems. Anyways, Event Coin is doing event ticketing. Looks cool. Guess what? It's on the Ethereum platform. And that's why, in a way, buying Ethereum is buying a fund of all of these companies trying to launch cool things. OMG, Event Coin. If they're successful, that's a proof of concept or, a vote of confidence on Ethereum itself. It's a lot less risky to bet that some businesses will be successful on Ethereum than it is to pick one to be successful. Event coin, rather than buying event coin, which I don't have much ability, it probably hasn't launched yet. When it does launch, who knows? For now, to me, again, this tells me buy Ethereum. Stellar. Okay, so they had, so IBM did a AMA, and it was good. One of the things that came out of the AMA, that people asking, what's the relationship with Stellar? They love Jed McCaleb. They think he's a rock star, like I do. They said the relationship between IBM and Stellar is tight, and I'm quoting that. Stellar is at the core of the payment processing. Here, look at this. We have one major we have one major market maker right now. Again, very soon there'll be more. 14 major institutions, and we're talking about IBM major institutions. IBM is one of the biggest companies in the world, putting Stellar at the core of its payment processing system, and they work with the biggest banks in the world. The biggest banks in the world use IBM's computers. So starting in Q8, now, they said gradual increase over time. However, I asked a question somewhere down here. See if I can find it. I was like, Stellar, remember, is starting at a very small number, only 5,000 transactions per day. Will IBM initiate a transaction volume on the Stellar network? What would it look like in 6 months? I was trying to pin them for something. And they told me traffic, this is from IBM, traffic will greatly increase after Q4, this quarter, or into Q1, but greatly increase in Q1 of 2018. That's within months. I think this is very unreported news. I think this is, you've got Stellar with its market cap here of only 565 million versus these other ones that are $1 billion. Who has the growth in the integration into the economy that Stellar has at a lower market cap? I love Stellar. My portfolio, I was saying, originally I was like 10% Stellar, then now it's 20%. I think I want to go higher with Stellar right now. I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised. So as far as the price, like I said, when the deal happened, let's look at that. So, and in fact, you know what? Let me just toot my horn. I was at the Ty Lopez crypto dinner, and the meeting was right here. And one of the people asked a question, hey, anyone have any coins you recommend that no one's talking about? I said Stellar. It was literally right here. It was like the next day. It was like 11 or 12. A day or two later, it shot up to 18. Then they had this announcement up to 45. So anyways, but as I said over here, I think there's a lot of resistance at 40 because, a lot of the sort of late show money got in up high here. And so a lot of people may want to unload around here. So, I mean, I hope it drops below 3 cents. Below 3 cents, I think you got to back up the truck here. I mean, if you don't own any yet, I like it. So I'm hoping it comes down more, down 7.5% today. I like that because you believe in something when it's down and you're excited because you get to buy more. So okay, and is that about it? I think so. Anything else I want to tell you? I think that's about it. All right. Well, let me know your thoughts if you have any questions. Someone actually mentioned to me, I just saw in a comment today, that of course they start, you're an idiot, you're so stupid, thank you very much. And then they pointed out, said that the 10X does not have 100,000 card users, it's 100,000 app downloads. Now the video that I have, and the link is on it from the Dash video I made, I don't know, Julian said 100,000 users. How is there a user without owning the app? I mean, sorry, without having a card. What do you do with just the app? I guess I can sort of research this myself, but I'm curious if you guys know anything about that. So I'm looking deeper into Dash. I may research that other thing into 10x, and that's where I'm at. So stay tuned and live large.